Have you ever noticed how a man's attitude can change drastically when he feels that you're no longer as available? At first he seems confident, even indifferent, but the moment you pull away slightly, his behavior shifts. Suddenly he starts reaching out more, showing signs of uncertainty, and often doesn't even understand why he's reacting that way. This happens because instinctively, men are driven by challenge. When something that seemed guaranteed starts, slipping away, a trigger is activated, awakening the fear of loss and completely altering his behavior. The key here is not to play games or manipulate, but to understand this dynamic and use it to your advantage while staying true to yourself. Maybe you've experienced this before. A man who only started valuing you when he realized you didn't fit into the predictable pattern he expected. But why does this happen? And how can you turn this awareness into something that strengthens your presence and makes you even more magnetic? That's exactly what we're going to explore now. If this topic resonates with you, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel to keep receiving content like this. The male mind works in a very specific way when it comes to relationships. Since ancient times, men have been motivated by the desire for conquest. This programming, even if unconscious, still influences their behavior today, just in a more subtle way. When a man perceives that a woman is always accessible, he tends to relax, feeling that the conquest is complete. But when that same woman starts pulling away, or simply living her own life without revolving around him, an internal alarm goes off, and he suddenly faces a new challenge. The reason is simple. Rarity creates value. Something that is always present and guaranteed fades into the background, but when it becomes less accessible, it sparks curiosity and desire. At this moment, he starts wondering if he did something wrong, if he's losing something important, and these doubts mess with his mind. This is where many women become frustrated because they believe that to maintain a man's interest, they need to put in maximum effort, always be available, and do everything to please him. But in reality, this constant availability can actually decrease attraction. The essence of seduction lies in the balance between presence and mystery. This doesn't mean ignoring or manipulating, but rather maintaining your own identity and not losing yourself for someone else. When a woman prioritizes herself, invests in her life, and stands firm in her values, she naturally becomes more captivating. This energy, which conveys security and self-confidence, is what makes a man recognize the true value of the connection. When he realizes he might be about to lose an incredible woman, he won't hesitate to shift his behavior to keep her close. If you've ever been in a situation where a man seemed uninterested while you were always available, but then started putting in more effort when he noticed your change in attitude, know that this was no coincidence. This dynamic is a natural part of relationships, and when understood, it can become a powerful ally in strengthening connections and attracting more balanced and fulfilling relationships. Understanding how a man processes changes in a relationship can completely transform your approach. When he senses that something is different about you, he goes through 3 well-defined stages. The first stage is restlessness. He notices that your energy has shifted, that you're no longer responding with the same predictability, and this unsettles him. The sense of security he once had starts to fade, and his mind searches for explanations. Did something happen? Did I do something wrong? Has she lost interest? This discomfort stems from the fact that men, in general, rely on stability. When that foundation shifts, their instinct for competition and pursuit is triggered. The second stage is the attempt to understand and regain control. He may start subtly testing your reaction by sending casual messages or trying to get your attention in indirect ways. Some might even try to provoke jealousy by mentioning other people or acting indifferent, hoping to see how you respond. This behavior reveals his uncertainty and his need to validate whether he still has a secure place in your life. Many women give in at this point, quickly showing availability again. However, this is a mistake. Once he realizes that a minimal effort was enough to restore the previous dynamic, he feels no need to try harder and returns to his comfort zone. If his interest is genuine, then comes the final stage, decision. A man who truly values a woman will recognize that he needs to take action. He will become more consistent, make direct efforts, and show clearly that he wants to be present. If he doesn't, he may simply drift away, which, despite seeming like a loss, is actually a great advantage. If he doesn't fear losing you, it means he was never truly invested in the first place. The key here is not to manipulate or create artificial strategies, but to understand that how you position yourself in the relationship directly influences how he responds. When you detach from the need for external validation and focus on your own self-worth, you automatically become more attractive. The real secret to keeping a man interested without pressuring him lies in how you see yourself. The value you place on yourself determines how he will perceive you. There is one essential principle that must be respected: balance. Healthy relationships require reciprocity. When a woman gives her all without receiving the same level of dedication, she creates a dynamic where the man sees no need to put in effort, and when there is no effort, interest naturally fades. In the end, a man only truly values a woman when he realizes that she is with him by choice, not necessity. When a man realizes he might lose you, his actions speak louder than any words. If he truly values your presence, he will put in the effort, seek closeness, and show that he wants to be by your side. On the other hand, if he starts pulling away, the biggest mistake you can make is trying to fill that void with even more dedication, believing it will make him change his mind. One of the most powerful tools in attraction is space. It's not about ignoring him or playing hard to get, but rather allowing him to feel your absence and recognize your true value. When you're not always available, he steps out of his comfort zone and understands that he must take action if he wants to keep the connection alive. Many women fear this distance, thinking that if they don't chase after him, they'll be forgotten. But the truth is, if a man can forget you so easily, he was probably never truly invested in the first place. The key to sparking genuine interest lies in your own growth. Men are naturally drawn to women who lead rich, fulfilling lives filled with purpose and happiness. This doesn't mean you should fake disinterest or follow a scripted plan. It means that when you find joy in your own journey, you become magnetic. A woman who loves and prioritizes herself radiates an irresistible energy, and that energy is felt without her having to say a single word. Building a life that excites you, developing passions, and surrounding yourself with experiences that help you grow are the very things that make you naturally more interesting. The best part: this happens authentically without the need for strategies or manipulation. You don't have to convince him to stay. When your energy is elevated, he will feel that being with you is a privilege, not an obligation. And here's the ultimate truth: the stronger you become emotionally, the more irresistible you are. This doesn't mean closing yourself off to love, but rather understanding that no one should be the center of your existence except you. When this mindset becomes a part of who you are, everything around you shifts. You'll also notice that men begin to react differently, but in the end, the biggest transformation is not theirs, it's yours. When a man feels he could lose you, he reveals his true intentions. If he genuinely cares, his actions will make that clear. If he makes no effort at all, that is the answer you need. Accepting this reality may be difficult at first, but in truth it's liberating. It allows you to stop investing energy in someone who was never truly committed. Many women believe they need to constantly prove their worth, but the truth is, you should never have to beg for recognition. When you respect yourself, the right person will see your value without needing to be convinced. True attraction doesn't come from techniques or games, but from the energy you radiate. When you put yourself first and understand that the fear of losing a man should never be greater than the fear of losing yourself, everything changes. Have you ever experienced this? Have you noticed how a man changes when he feels he has no guarantees? Tell me in the comments. If this content resonated with you, like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next ones. At the end of the day, amazing relationships begin with how you see yourself.